So you know how everybody's heard the saying that God never gives us more than we can handle? And most people have thought, okay, that's not true. But really it is, when we tackle it with faith, when we find the faith. So it's just strange to me that I'm working in this horror show, as I've said, and people may wonder, well, why do you stay there? Well, because I love doing travel and was doing it for 2 years. And then all of a sudden, once American Nurses Association blocked me on Twitter for speaking the truth, and I probably didn't realize even at that time how much, well, I knew they had a lot of power, but they have so much power that they just have a ton of power. So then I had 4 travel assignments that all of a sudden went on hold right before I was supposed to start. That's never happened before. But it started happening it was 4 in a row right after I got blocked from American Nurses Association. And yet the head of American Nurses Association is friends with the Vivian travel nursing app, the woman that is like the CEO of it. So that's the way it goes in this digital world we live in. But I already knew from years ago, as I've talked about in so many videos, how ruthless American Nurses Association could be when it comes to their political agenda. That's all they care about. That's why most nurses don't have a lot of respect for them, because they use nurses is what they do. They use the nurses to push their socialist agenda. And they have for a long time. This isn't something that they just started doing. That's why the people at the top of that organization, they don't care who they have to step on. They're just too full of themselves. They're really not leaders. They're just people that lack empathy. And so healthcare can't improve until we actually have people that have empathy that are in charge of it. That's the most important quality you really should have. I understand the credentialing and the degrees, and, obviously you want people that are in medicine to know medicine, in nursing to know nursing. But what you don't want is people that see their political agenda as more important than how they would treat their neighbor. That's how ruthless American Nurses Association is. There's nothing more important to them than their socialist agenda. It's been like that for a long time. So they don't care if it's not that they set out to destroy nurses, but they will if they have to, in order to stay on the track of their political ideology and getting their political plans in place. Most nurses would say to me, and have said to me, you can't do anything about them. They have too much power. And somebody said that to me today, and I said, but I believe in miracles, because I do. I'm a miracle. I should be dead. God saved me from the throes of alcoholism many, 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 many years ago. So I've seen miracles, even in my own life. So I believe in miracles. Yeah, it would take a miracle to try to take down an association like American Nurses Association. And I don't want to take them down. Let me make that clear. It's not like if they want to have their own little society of nurses, but they certainly shouldn't be dictating the standard of care, because they're too politically aligned with stuff that doesn't help nurses, and it doesn't help patients. And what's really sad is that, and I there's a part of me that wishes this on the nurses at the top of American Nurses Association and the CEOs of places like where I work, is that I hope someday you're forced to be taken care of in a type hospital that you were the CEO of, or you had American Nurses Association, a chief nursing officer in it. And then you're really maybe would just have an idea of how much you fucked up, how little you don't care, how you don't have empathy. Because when you can push transgenderism on kids and act like that it's for a good cause, well, you're just sick and twisted. But more than that, when you can disregard the way people in your hospital are treated, staff and patients, then I really think that there should come a day that you experience what that's like. Because the very first thought that those of us with empathy have is, I would hate to see my mom or my family member or my brother or sister getting care like that. Yet they just never think it'll happen to them, which is why it would be a just thing for it to happen to them or to their family members. Because nobody should be treated with such disrespect. Not in America. Nobody should be so disregarded as a patient that you create unsafe situations. You stress people out to the point where they won't even come back after a break, that they're crying because they're afraid. That shows you as a leader, as an organization, as a CEO, that you're just a criminal-minded person, because you should care about the quality of care that's being provided. But all these people care about is money, at least in the CEO's eyes. And all American Nurses Association cares about is their political agenda. That's all they've ever been about. They've used every nurse in this country, and many know it. Many know it. Many just see that there's no hope for the profession to get better, or for the things that true nurses that have a heart want to see take place in the profession and in the healthcare system, because American Nurses Association has so much power. People think, they don't even think that if Trump was reelected, he could do anything about it. I think he could. I think he'd have to if we're truly going to live under the Constitution. We can't be great again as a country and have American Nurses Association heading up nursing. We just can't. Because they're socialists, first of all. That's what they've always been pushing. That's why they didn't care all those years ago. I mean, it's not that they were trying to go after me. It's just I got in the way. And they will squash you if you get in their way. So, and since that time, their power has like 100-fold since then. So, I don't think America can be great again if they are left, if they're still given money, if they're still allowed. Like, if the politicians in the swamp want to be tied to them, then those politicians got to go. Because they're part of the problem too. They're not helping nursing, they're using nurses. And the sooner nurses start to realize that, then you might realize that this is why the healthcare system continues to get worse, because the people that supposedly have your back and are supposed to be empowering you, they haven't been empowering you. They've only been empowering you to stand up for their political socialist agenda. And that is not going to help healthcare. We're in much of the mess we are in nursing because of the socialist nurses that run American Nurses Association. They've always been politically tied. They are not an arm of our government, which is why they got to go. Once they no longer are listened to, once we get rid of lobbyists, then we can have true nurses that have a heart, that know exactly the best way to put care and empathy back in healthcare. And then you will see great improvements and positive outcomes. And we can kick the AI nurse in the trash.